So, we should be going live any second now. Let's see.
We won the soccer game. The girls did.
They did win. Awesome. Okay. So real quick, we would just like to. What is the word I'm looking for? No. Dedicate. Thank you, Angel. We would like to dedicate this episode of Miss Martin's geometry class to Joe. Joe has moved. And my 6th period class is going to miss Joe very much. So they wanted to dedicate this to him. So here we go. Say bye, Joe.
When is this right there?
Yeah, I'll try. That's where Joe said. Okay. Okay, it wasn't even focused.
Good.
I know.
Did they see Lobster Boxer?
I do not think so, but I'm not going to pull it back up. All right. The only reason I even feel comfortable doing that is because I know nobody watches this. Okay. I still, well, I mean, it's a lot. The only reason I do live streaming is because it's easier than uploading videos. That's the reason I do it as a live. I don't expect anyone to watch it while it's actually live, but the sad part is nobody watches it afterwards either.
Guys, thanks for donating $5.
That's what I need to start doing. But the good news is I feel better that I'm putting the stuff we're doing in class out there for people who, if they do need the help. And I do know there are a couple of kids who do watch it if they have to be upset. Yeah. Yeah. And really that's the purpose. That, and if you are struggling, you can go back and look at something if you need help. Okay.
What is your YouTube thing? I'm not following that.
Miss, I think it's L. Martin at thequeenleopards.org. L. Martin.
Like just the letter L or like
The letter R at the Queen Leopards. Leona. Okay.
Oh, no.
Time for cringy math music video. I'm adding some playlist. DJ L. Martin at deaconleopards.org.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled?
Did it show up?
No. Khaled.
And the Rad Dabbers.
I might be. Let me see if I can post a link to the live stream. Let's see.
A little random stuff like that.
Oh, there's the link.
It's just academic equations or something like that. It's so
You can
funny.
just type the link in. Are you gonna edit this one?
Hmm?
Are you gonna edit this one?
Edit this what?
Live.
Nah.
The person watching it is just waiting for that lesson.
Uh-huh.
Take away. Isn't there only 2 students in that class?
Yep. You and him. All right, Trent, there you go. All right.
When was 2016? I knew it. I'm so hurt.
Now, this is an old song. This is an old song. 2016 is when they put this video out, and the song came out before that, I'm sure. But this is my favorite. Now, there are lots of different versions of this song in the world that go to different tunes. I learned the one when I was in high school of Pop Goes the Weasel. It's lame. Okay? There's.
This is definitely not going to be
Do y'all know who One Direction is?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if they dissolved before y'all were old enough to know them or not. Was it that my daughter, that was her favorite band when she was like 10. So, there's one to a One Direction song. Y'all know the Cup song from Pitch Perfect? There's one to that. There's lots of different versions. This happens to be my personal favorite. So this is the one I'm showing you.
What are you doing? You got to outschool. We don't teach you how to do it. Follow. You. formula called the quadratic? You gotta plug in and solve it 2 times, plus minus, right?
X equals negative b plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a, 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 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a, 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 2a.
Kind of lefty and up in this class. Watch me find that ABC. Substitute.
Okay, we're not gonna watch the whole thing.
Please.
No.
I gotta watch the whole thing, please. We have to.
I don't think
You already started it.
And simplify the quadratic. Super fresh, now watch me solve it on the haters, man. When I solve that quadratic, I'll lean to left and crank that radical. I'm solving on you. And if we get to testing, then I'm acing on you. You catch me at your local classroom, yes, I solve it every day. Haters get mad, cause I can solve a quadratic.
X equals negative b plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a, 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 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a, 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 2a.
I'm solving on my test. Watch me find that intercept. The right side is 0, so I can find my variables. Substitute them in. Simplify the root. Coefficients next. Plus and minus e squared.
I've never watched the whole thing.
Watch us solve.
First time solving.
You can too. Yeah, you can do like me. Follow along, it's easy. Class, I see you do it like me. Now that problem's easy.
X equals negative b plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a, 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 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a, 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 2a.
And then under the root, it'll tell you about the roots. B squared minus 4ac. Now look at that graph. How many? Positive 2, 0, 1, negative 9. I'm too fresh now. Watch me solve. Watch me square and watch me root. Watch me print that quadratic and solve the root. Solve the root. Solve the root.
X equals negative b plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a, 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 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a, 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 2a.
Get rid of that.
Really yelling. I had more brain cells before we watched that. That made
I
me
used to
think.
have, I used to have a brain cell for every
Okay,
there was-
so
Now I have now.
let's talk about what you got out of it, not what you lost from it. What did you get out of it?
I'll see it.
X equals negative b
How cringe did that?
plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. 2a. Okay? So, this right here is what's called the quadratic formula. Okay? Okay, that's the name of it, the quadratic formula, and it's a way to solve quadratics for x that's super useful, especially when they can't be factored. Y'all know how we've come across some that we just couldn't factor? They were not factorable, right? And not only that, but it deals with imaginary numbers really easily. So if they come up with imaginary numbers, then we can deal with that. You can use the quadratic formula even if they can be factored. Sometimes it's easier than factoring. Okay? Huh?
This looks like it's going to be kind of hard.
It's not, though. So all you have to do is you've got to make sure that your quadratic equation is in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, right? So like this one is in standard form, right? This one is in standard form, right? 3 is in standard form, but look at 4. Yeah, you got to move that 2 over. So before you can do anything on 4, you'll have to move the 2 over, okay? But let's go ahead and jump over to 1. Let's jump back up to 1. Our A here is an understood 1, right? Our B is a 2. Our C is a negative 8. So all we have to do is plug that stuff in for B, A, and C in our quadratic equation. So I'm going to write it all out, and then I'm going to show you how to plug it in your calculator, make sure you get it right, okay? So we're going to have negative 2, because B is 2, and in our equation is negative B, right? Plus or minus, and we're going to deal with that in just a second. Square root of B squared, so 2 squared, right? Minus 4 times 1, because that's what A is, times negative 8, because that's what C is. Y'all with me so far? And then we're going to divide that by 2A. Okay, 2 times 1. Okay? Now, for today, we're just going to plug in the calculator. I gave y'all simple ones. The ones you're going to have to do are going to be simple. They're going to get all whole numbers but one answer, and one answer is going to be a decimal fraction. But everything else is going to be whole numbers. So I just want you today to practice like plugging things into the right location and getting an answer. Okay? Tomorrow we're going to get a little more in depth with it. But for today, we're taking it kind of easy. So to plug it in, you're going to open up your fraction option, alpha y equals. So the green button and the first button right here, right? So you're going to open that up, hit enter. Now we're going to punch negative 2. Make sure you use the negative symbol, not the minus symbol. If you use the minus symbol, it will not count it right. It will give you an error. Now the next part. Remember, we can't do plus and minus at the same time in our calculator. We got to pick one, do it first, and go back and do the other one. I personally prefer to use plus sign first, but I don't care which way you do it. And then we'll do square root. So second x squared gets a square root. And we're going to type everything that's under the square root, underneath the square root. So we've got 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 8. Make sure you use a negative symbol and not a minus symbol, okay? And then arrow down, and we'll put 2 times 1. You forgot what? Alpha y equals. Now, we hit enter, we get 2. Right, that's one answer. So x is 2. And that's what we get when we add what's underneath the radical to that negative 2. Now we need to subtract it. Rather than retyping the whole thing, I'm going to arrow up to it, hit my enter button, and then use my keypad to get back where that plus sign is. And I'm going to change that plus sign to a minus sign. Oh, crap. I did click. Oh.
So you gotta just go back up.
Okay. Let me try it again. Here we go. My keypad's not responding, and then when it finally does respond,
Yeah, blame it on lag.
that's what I'm blaming it on.
He's calculated and did it on Wi-Fi. Are these usually, bro, is Wi-Fi running for tail?
Okay,
Error.
-4.
12.
So we have 1x is 2, 1x is -4. And those are our two answers. Those are our two where it crosses the x-axis is. Our two x-intercepts, okay? So, number 2, same song, new problem, right? So, literally, same song. You don't want me to sing? What?
Sing, Miss Martin.
Sing.
Sing. Come on, Miss Martin.
No, I promise you, nobody wants me to sing.
I want to hear you sing, Miss Martin.
I cannot sing. Okay. So, -b, what would that be in this problem?
5.
So, -5 plus or minus the square root of b squared. So, 5 squared minus 4ac. So, 4 times 1 times -6 divided by 2a. Okay, so 2 times 1. And then we just plug that in our calculator, right? So, y'all plug in, I'm going to plug in, then we'll compare notes.
Watch the actually be the answer.
So I got x equals 1 for one of them. You know what I just realized, y'all?
Yes.
My calculator's not what's lagging.
Your brain.
The string.
I was looking at my computer screen and hitting buttons on the calculator. I thought, that's real weird. I've never had a calculator lag like that.
Yeah. I have the stream full of.
Okay,
Are you actually watching?
Yes, I am.
so, and then I got -6. Did y'all get those two numbers?
Yes.
All right, let's bop down to number 4.
-6.
Yeah. Okay, so on number 4, remember, I think, was it Landon who said we got to move the 2? So, how are we going to move the 2? We're going to subtract 2, so that's how we move it, right? So now we have 2a squared minus, that's a 1, right? -1a minus 15 equals 0. Now we can use our quadratic equation. So, -b, oh, well, let's talk about it. That's already a -1. So +1, because it says -b, but b's a negative. Well, what happens when you got a negative, but you make it that a negative? That's a positive. So +1 plus or minus the square root of b squared. Now, cautionary tale here. When you plug this in your calculator, if you don't put parentheses around that -1, it's going to count it wrong. Because your calculator sees it as, oh, hey, I'm going to square this 1, then I'm going to make that answer negative. That's what it sees. It doesn't see that as a negative attached to the 1. It sees it as a negative in front of the 1. Y'all see the difference? Okay. So, -1 squared minus 4 times a, 2, times c, -15, all divided by 2a. Okay, so 2 times 2. So plug that in.
Oh, it's a very big. It's a very long number. 2.2. Did I do it wrong?
Something's not right.
I got the 6.
It should not be a very big number. Did you put your -1 in parentheses?
Yeah, I did that, but I know what I did.
I don't know what I did wrong.
Did you put -15 in?
Nope. That's only where I got 3.
There's a -15.
They're an issue.
Did you put the 2?
Oh,
I forgot that at
Never
first.
mind, I'm stupid. Carry on.
Get it.
-15.
And then for the negative, I got.
It's gonna be 61 over 2.
Something is not
For
right.
the 1 plus everything, I got 6.
It's
I
3.
just swear over it.
I got
3.
Number 3.
Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
I'm right too.
I know what
I'm very smart.
It's so evil to
His Hudson just said, I am very smart. Everyone knows that. Which immediately followed where he said, I am so stupid.
He said,
In less than 60 seconds, he called himself so stupid and very smart.
Because I'm both,
Okay, so this is what I got.
Yeah.
Did you get the same thing?
Yes.
If I got 3 and I got -5/2 or -2.5, however you want to write it down. If you didn't get that, we need to figure out what you're doing wrong, okay?
while on my quest to get 6, I believe
On your quest to get 6? Oh, so you thought he got it right, so you must be doing something wrong?
You got it right.
and I got 3, like 4 different times.
Gotcha. So, what is the moral of this story?
I don't like
That I was going more for have confidence in your own abilities, or have faith in yourself, or
Start guessing myself.
yeah, you can't double guess yourself. You've got to have confidence in yourself.
We skip that step. We go straight to 3.
Guess myself multiple times.
Okay, all right. Now, a couple of things I want to remind you of because I'm fixing to just turn you loose and let you work. Because this is a plug and play thing. Okay, you know the formula. You plug in the numbers, you get an answer. Like that's it, right? Okay. You've got to make sure everything's on the same side of the equation. That's number 1. So, like on any of these problems, when there's stuff on the other side, you got to move it, right? Number 2, whatever your B is, say your B is -2, that very first part, it's going to be the opposite of that, right? So if it's a negative, it becomes a positive. If it's a positive, it becomes a negative, right? If you have a negative right there, if you got a negative right there, put it in parentheses. If you don't put it in parentheses before you square it, your calculator is going to be like, you dumb, I'm giving you the wrong answer. You deserve it. Okay?
Probably do, though.
Okay. Let me tell you which numbers I want you to do, but I have to go to my desk because this is 6th hour and I still haven't carried the piece of paper back here that I wrote down those numbers.
Are they easy to look for that we can finish it in class?
Yeah.
They're only 5, right? They're only 5. Really?
I'm double guessing.
If one of them is number 8, I'm gonna leave.
5, 6, 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, 12.
That's 4. Oh, wait, no, that's 5.
I thought it was 4
And every one of those answers is a whole number, except one answer on one of the problems is a fraction, but not even a hard fraction.
Number 12.
There is an interactive worksheet.
Oh no. Smart person.
Yes. But if you do not get the interactive worksheet done today, that's okay.
It's not going to make us listen to any bad math-related YouTube videos.
Can I like the screen?
I don't. It won't let me. It's like it doesn't even show up like your profile.